handcrafted food.
22.2% inflation rate as of April this year. What does that say about where we are as a country?
I think Nigeria has resorted to being resilient.
Before you call the police station, before they even leave, they take permission from
I don't think there's really anything on ground to improve.
the struggle, the ASU strike.
Education volunteered and said, give me 2 weeks.
It was a life. The president never gave me any deadline.
Welcome to Africa's Finest Breakfast Show. It's David Morning with the television. Today is the weekend edition, Sunday. You would not miss the date, and it's the 22nd of December 2024. It means we are reaching the business end of this very historic year, and we're indeed glad to be part of your lives this morning, and we intend to make your Sunday truly amazing by giving all the top stories and interesting discussions that's going to shape your day and your week ahead. My name is Anthony Mene. Welcome to today's broadcast of Global Morning. We've got some very interesting upbeat as regards the stories making the rounds across the national dailies. We'll also be having a very interesting discourse this morning as we look at issues as regards the conscious creation of a new Nigeria. The kind of types of leaders that lead this evolution is going to be the main discourse of our day, and hopefully we've got one of Africa's finest minds. This is the president of Mr. Abdulrahman, who is the founder and president of the Initiative for the Discovery of Nigeria's heritage and environment. He's also the national coordinator of the project, the National Dialogue. And so we've got someone who would be giving us a very deep insight as regards what it takes to have a conscious, effort, deliberate attempt to create a new Nigeria of our dreams, and also he will give us hindsight as regards the kind of leaders that can drive this dream and make it come to reality, especially when we have an eye for 2027. It means a lot needs to be done, and he has been doing this for decades, so he knows what he's saying. So we'll be hearing from the horse's mouth, like they say. But before we do that, let's go for a quick break, and we'll kickstart by looking at what the papers are saying this morning. Stay with us. Welcome back from that quick break. It's now time for me to introduce my guest. He is the president and founder of the initiative, the Initiative for the Discovery of Nigeria Heritage and Environment. He is also the project coordinator of the National Dialogue. He's the other person with Musa Ododo Abdulrahman. He is in the live studio to help us. He also helped us look at what people are saying before we kick into that very key talk, which has to do with the conscious creation of a new Nigeria and the leaders that can drive this dream forward. Good morning. Thank you for joining me in the live studio.
Greetings without humility, my brother. I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much.
I can but just admit that I also did watch you in channels, and it was amazing the talk you had That's also one of the key things, the good job you're doing trying to promote creation of a new Nigeria.
Thank you so much. All right, please permit me to quickly, special thanks, my profound gratitude to the CEO and the management of this great, exceptional television station that is dedicated, just like your rider goes, he said, the Nigeria our pride. Please, Dr. Ibrahim Biu, I greet you with all humility and profound respect. Well done, and you're doing a great job, and indeed, Nigeria will be a pride for all. Thank you.
All right, let's kick into this concert. We're beginning with the Nigerian Sunday Tribune is the first people are looking at this morning as we look at headlines. It says that Custody seizes petrol tanker from Snowgrass, sells content at 630 naira per litre in Ibadan. That's one of the big stories from the Sunday Tribune. Then other headline stories we've got ahead of 2027 is the rider there. 78 political associations seek INEC's nod to become parties. Ahead of 2027 elections, 78 political associations seek INEC's nod to become parties. That's the big story on page 4 of the Sunday Tribune. Hunger in the land is the kicker. High food sharing claimed 57 lives in 4 days is the very sad commentary there. We've got 22 killed in the latest stampede in Abuja. Anambra Tinubu cancels events to honor victims. Then we've got OOE months as 3 students die in auto crash. Unitard is the rider. Despite high prices of commodities, we will celebrate. Nigerians are talking this morning. But let's quickly just look at the Sunday Tribune. Very sad commentary. Hunger in the land, 57 lives lost in 4 days. We've got in Abuja, in Anambra, Ibadan. We also did hear that play out. What does this go to show us? We're hearing the President Council's event to honor victims. Is this not late honor? If he was to honor the victims, shouldn't it be reduction of the fuel price and other reductions to show them really know or feel the pulse of the people rather than lip service?
Absolutely, you're right. That is the way to go. Just like I do always say that the reform that, with all due respect, the reform that our dear president is doing cannot solve Nigeria problem. It's there. Nigeria problem is deeper. We are faced with fundamental challenges, and reform can never solve any fundamental challenges. Excuse me. Fundamental challenges of life cannot be solved with the same state of consciousness or knowledge level that created them. Like you said, we need to up our game. We need to revisit those reforms and look at how we can solve it fundamentally. Reform is just particularly improve the process and the already existing system within the context, within the framework of correct governance. So, but what Nigeria really needs is a transformational thinking. Transformational thinking means new, just like I said, it needs new thinking, because there must be a paradigm shift in the governance, and meaning that there must be a change of mindset. There must be a change of mindset, and there must be a fundamental structural change in the society. That is how it is.
All right, let's look at in terms of the lives lost. How sad is this? Does that really tell us how hungry Nigerians are?
In fact, that is the hunger that you see is an offshoot of deeper problem. I love to look at things deeply. It's an offshoot of deeper problem. It's an offshoot of dreams that are dying. You know what it takes to be a nation, to be a person in a nation, and probably those young people, everybody, our heart goes to the parents. God give them the fortitude to bear this irreparable. So our heart goes to them. But more than that, we must do. This generation must look inward and see how to solve this. We must put an end to this kind of thing. Is an ignominy that land we're practically working on treasures, and people are going hungry. When I saw it, I just, like I said the last time, I said, now I cry without tears, which is very, as he said it's very, that one is very excruciating. I can't stand that goal. I can't stand it. We are not, this is not how it is. I mean, a nation is governed. This is not how it's supposed to be. This is not our destiny as a people. And then we'll be diving into some kind of this as we go.
We've got ahead of 2027 elections, we've got 78 political associations waiting for them to give them go ahead to become parties. This definitely going to be one of the points of main discussions. Well, what does this tell us? The anxiety and the eagerness of Nigerians ahead of 2027. Does that tell us if the elections is going to be airtight, very competitive, there's desperation to change government?
Yeah, change of government is good. It's good, and I enjoy everybody to be politically conscious. But it goes deeper than that. Just like I said, we need to look critically to our government. When you have political power, it doesn't necessarily change anything. People have been in position of power since independence. People were there yesterday. Somebody is there now, and some people are just going to be part of the political. And from my deep research, from all civilization, all great nations, or from the creation of the humankind, power do not necessarily develop any society. Power or political power, you get power. It does not necessarily develop any society. It is wisdom. It is wisdom and transcendent, that one. It is transcendent wisdom that gives meaning and direction to power. So that is what, just like we'll be looking into that. Because it's another thing to have power. What do you do with power? And you ask question, what do you do with power? People are occupying the position of power now. We're all indices, negative indices are all standing up on our face. So what do you do with power? It's going to take a lot because we are all politically, we have to do it.
Let's move on to the Punch newspaper and look at some of the headlines on the Punch newspaper. Veterinary councils engagement as 39 killed the Anambra Abuja food stampedes. We find that story on page 3 of the Punch newspaper. Other Punch headlines from the Punch says $1 billion arrears, overheads delay new envoys appointment. That's you find on page 4 of the Punch newspaper. And fear spreads among the northern churches over fresh bomb attacks. Page 4 is where you find that Punch story from the Punch newspaper. And we've got sad tales of pregnant teens shot out by parents rejected by King's man. Then we've got over 25 million phones stolen in 1 year, says federal government. And I was sentenced to death. That's the get to find out. And marketers in suspense as NNPCL finally lower petrol price. Okay, let's get your take on this story about $1 billion arrears and overheads delay on the appointment. It's been months we've been waiting for the president to appoint ambassadors after the recall of the ambassadors. What does this do to our diplomatic and bilateral ties with nations? And $1 billion arrears, that's huge.
That is huge, and of course let's look at it from the perspective of our relationship with international diplomacy. Of course, that is a deep, that is a snag. That is a snag there in our relationship, because if there's every ambassador is a representative of the country, of the country, in that space. So if we don't have, meaning that there's no nexus, there's no practical communion within those two. So it's going to, it's not good. But looking at what we need to do, that is part of what we are talking about. We need to cut that governance. What do we need? No, I don't know how much. I don't know how they run the international offices, but we need to cut governance at all levels. You cannot say you are governing people and the people are dying and suffering to the detriment of your governance. Governance is supposed to be service, absolute service.
Alright, the last story we'll be looking at churches, fear groups, northern churches as fresh bomb attacks. How do you see this, especially at this very festive period? Isn't it sad commentary that is this fear when there's festive period?
Is a SARS commentary and is a recurrent commentary, meaning that it still shows you part of where we are as a people. While anytime there's supposed to be a joyous thing, then this kind of it shows how the entity called Nigeria as it is now. It shows how it is. It shows how the configuration of this is. People are not happy. People don't know. People is a testament to how people. Some people do that. You don't take it in face value. You need to see what it symbolizes. There's supposed to be a forthcoming Christmas for all of us, both Christian and Muslim, to rejoice. But some other people want to perpetrate that evil. He's just telling us that it's not well. All is not well. People cannot be hungry, or people cannot be, and you said they should celebrate. It goes deeper to show you what the illness is. What we see Nigeria playing out is an offshoot of a deeper problem, which we'll be dealing with.
Let's run through that in the Sunday song. Said Christmas rise of death, 13 more die in Abuja, Anambra stampede is the headline story there, and what other headlines? General leadership election, intrigues, uncertainty, envelope, and Zambia. That's the headline story there. Then we've got other issues. Moving on from the Sunday Sun, we've got the Vanguard. House calls were killed in Abuja, Anambra. That's from the Vanguard. Wobbling democracy. Rigged election, go to court. Judges under fresh scrutiny over questioning the judgment. That's page 9. Then we've got accumulated waste choke Lagos. That's on page 17 of the Vanguard. Then we've got petrol price drops below 900 naira is a headline story there. And from the Daily Independent, Tinubu's 47 trillion 2025 budget unsettles experts is one of the headline stories from the Daily Independent. Nigeria is plotting to destabilize government of Niger Republic. Edo local government chairman deputies remain suspended, says panel. Food stampede skated in Abuja, 17 in Anambra. Alright, these are some of the headlines. Federal government commissions tractors, harvesters to boost agric mechanization. Tinubu gives the Defense Ministry Armed Forces 2025 to end banditry is the headline story. That's coming from the Daily Independent and the Sunday Times. Tinubu cancels Lagos events to honor stampede victims in FCT and Anambra is a headline story there from the Sunday Times. Dangote praises Tinubu's creed for Naira deal. And Senator Rena Paul backs Elon Musk for House Speaker. Patience Ozoko on her mortuary assistant days. Alright, those are some stories. You can grab a copy. What I think are some of the, before we go for a quick break, just to get your take as regards this fuel price reduction. How do you see that going? That should be good news, but it's not being implemented or domesticated by in other states or by the marketers themselves.
You just put the answer. It's not you don't bandage a problem. That's not what we wanted. It's not sustainable. It's just Christmas. It's a good gesture, but you can see it's not. People don't do that kind of thing. There's a bigger. That's another bigger conversation concerning that, which our time will not take us if I want to go into that. So, but definitely that is not a sustainable solution. Of course, it's supposed to be a good gesture. You can see people are not implementing it, meaning that it's not working. Okay. It doesn't work.
All right, let's go for a quick break. Once we talk from this break, we'll get into the main discourse, which has to do with the deliberate creation of the new Nigeria, and we're looking at the kind of leaders that can make us achieve such a great stride. After this break, stay with us. now time for us to hit the discuss button as we look at the big talking point, which has to do with the conscious creation of a new Nigeria. Types of leaders to lead the revolution is what we're looking at, and no other better person but the man who has done this talk for decades. His name is Musa Ododo Abdulrahman, who is the founder and president of the Initiative for Discovery of Nigeria Heritage and Endowment. He's also the project coordinator of the National Dialogue, joining us in the live studios. Right, so let's look at this, the conscious creation of a new Nigeria. Types of leaders to drive this initiative. Take us through first of all what it means when you say the conscious creation. And when you talk about creation, it's like building from the scratch. So what are the 4 pillars to ensure that this building stands the test of time? There's cohesion, there's commitment by all parties, and by the 6 geopolitical zones, the ethnic groups, the 774 local governments, areas, the 36 states, the leaders, past and present, and the future generation leaders to born, and those that are here.
What a profound question that we are, and this is the most. I love this question so much. It's my life. As if you're asking, who are you, Abdurrahman? It's my life. This is what I had done. I had done for over 30 years of my life. I started consciously when I was 18 years old, meditating upon this great entity, Nigeria. My perseverant meditation upon this marvelous entity, Nigeria, for that decades. I'm going to share with you this deeper question. I came to the realization that great and unified nation do not happen by historical accident. It's never a happenstance. It is a product of a conscious statecraft. Nations are created. If you do not consciously create one, you can never build any. This is an eternal universal principle that is applicable to all society on earth. It is a law of nature. That is how we are as a person.
Can we say it also could start from the family?
From the family. It starts from not the family, it starts from the divinity. Not from the unity, it starts from divinity.
Spiritual.
It's spiritual. A nation is a spirit. A nation is more than a geographical area. It transcends more than what you call geographical area. We are Nigeria. A geographical area in Nigeria, but the people there are the nation, the human person. You are the nation, and I am the nation. We are the carrier of this entity called Nigeria. We are not Nigeria by accident of birth. We have been Nigeria since eternity. We have called up to be Nigeria to fulfill a purpose. And we will be going to that purpose. So I love your question. It transcends more than the family. It is a divinity. Let me carry you to the divine origin of nation. You see, what they call nation is, thank God, we are all predominantly Muslim and Christian here, and of course we love our religion, but it's only that I always advocate that we should not learn more spiritual or abide by the eternal principle of each religion. I do talk to Muslim brothers, Christian brothers. No, you have to be embodiment of what Christ is or what Muhammad teaches, so that is the religion, that is it. So meaning that we have too much churches here or too much mosques, but we are not embodiment of those principles. Anyway, I just want to put that. Because I was mentioning Muslim, I'm mentioning Quran and the Bible, that we are pretending Quran and the Bible. Now I want our viewers to look at that from that perspective, the divine origin of nation. Look at when God sees humanity. God created only one kind of nation, one, and that is mankind. Mankind is a nation. And the divine God Almighty see everybody through that lens of one unity. We are all one. That is why he said in the Quran, and he said in the Bible too. In my research, I saw in the Quran. So let us, he was saying that let us create vicegerents. In the Quran, he said vicegerent, Khalifa is a vicegerent, and the Bible said, let us create image in our likeness. That image, I did research well because I love etymology. I love to go through, to the deeper root of what languages mean, because words are the tools of thought. So you need to go what it means. And I say that in Hebrew word it means, it's the selem. TSELEN, meaning that it means vicegerent too. It means somebody to take responsibility. So meaning that there is a we must understand the timeline between responsibility of divinity and humanity. We'll be looking into that now after this origin of nation. So God sees humanity as one, and He do expect God do in His divine prerogative and holy magnanimity. He will choose a set of people to fulfill certainty, to fulfill that which God Almighty sees as a nation. Just like He mentioned in the Quran, as I said, He mentioned Ibrahim, the Quran says Ibrahim, he mentioned as Ummah, is an Ummah, is a nation. He mentioned in the Bible says Abraham is a father of many nations, meaning that meaning that we are all nations. So God sees, you want to bring that. So I'm trying to say that God sees from the perspective of humanity as a whole. So He deals with that. So that is the divine origin of relation. God sees. So God brought together, of course, through the instrumentality. British are just instruments. Through the instrumentality of British imperialism, God brought together the greatest concentration of blacks on the surface of the earth to fulfill a purpose for humanity. To fulfill a purpose, and that is we'll be getting into that. So I'm just trying to buttress that it's a divine, it's more than it's a divine that all of us need to understand that purpose of which we are as a people.
Okay, now we have a purpose, and that's why we've been brought together.
People don't know.
Yeah.
That is what you're talking about.
I'm saying, I'm looking at now how can we create this nation so that we'll be able to even carry out the mandate.
Very good. The first thing you do in the creation of a nation is, for my meditation, I came up with 5 questions that we must, pertinent and fundamental questions that the people must understand to becoming a nation.
The first is
identity. Who are we as a people? Let me mention the 5 that we'll now treat within the time that we have. Studio time is always small, but we can do it. Easy to unpack 30 years of but let's just see. It's a continuous series. And next Sunday we can do the part 2. That is why I'm particularly happy blessing this great nation that this great global. I love the name global television is going global. It's going to go global because Nigeria is a global. It must answer to that global thing that it is, and you are doing the right thing. Thank you. So the first thing is that we mention is identity. Who are we as a people? The second one is to have the answer. Where is our commonality of purpose?
That
binds us. You must have that. We must be there. And I'm not going to give the answer alone. That is why there must, as we go, that is why there must be a broad national dialogue concerning this. I can only, a vision can be for one person, but it's not, the vision can be personal, but it's not, this one is a corporate vision. It's everybody, every nation, everybody must come and provide answers to wisdom. We must exploit our collective wisdom. So who are we as a people? Where is our commonality of purpose? What is the foundational principle of this entity called Nigeria? What is the philosophy of this state? Which philosophy impels the character of this state? And the last one, what is the Nigerian dream? What is the most cherished aspiration and vision of this entity in Nigeria? People must have the mental picture of the future they want to feature as a people. We don't have. If you see all these pertinent questions we don't have, there must be the answers to this pertinent question. We lay a foundation for a new Nigeria, for a nation, not just the nation that will be the pride of Africa and of humanity as a whole.
Okay, so in terms of this 5 that you mentioned, let's look at who are the people that can drive this. We're talking about leaders. What kind of leaders can drive this? You must have this knowledge, have this insight, this spirituality, this wisdom to be able to know that this is what should be driven. I see yourself, I see Ben Alika as some few Nigerians. There's model Jeffrey Abidoye, who is the Rebuild 360 concept global president. The same line with you, Ben Alika. How can we convert this minds that are different, that are looking at it from spiritual angle, from those who want to go to the polls in 2027? How can we differentiate the shaft from the real thing?
Thank you. Naturally, in every society, in the evolution of every society, every generation must discover its own mission. They either fulfill it or betray it. The generation of our great founding father founded an independent country for us. But the greatest responsibility and the call for this generation is to consciously make a nation out of that country. The making of a nation. That is what I mean. The consciousness. Nations are born. Nations are birth. And we are speaking to who are the fathers? Who can be the father of this nation? And I thank God. I don't know it all. That is it. Since I was my childhood, that is the calling I had when I was my child, and I deliberately concentrated on the calling that God has given, which is the work. That is your work. Your calling in life is your work. If you're going to normal work and give you food, that is your job. I discovered early in my life, and I devoted myself to it, that yes, I can father words. We need fathers. You are speaking to fathers. We need fathers of the nation. People that have the spirit of fathers. Not people that want to grab power. They want to grab power and do anything. And I ask them again, what do you want to do with this power? What do you do with power now? You've taken this power for so long, and Nigeria is saying, what do you do with power? But the answer for them, nature is going to answer them. I'm telling you, nature is going to take them away. It's natural, because it is obvious that they can't govern this entity in Nigeria, because before you have access to that level of consciousness that we're talking now, you must have developed the arsenals of your mind against the unruly encroachment of this transient and ephemeral joy of life, so that you can have access to that. A nation is a revelation. I'm telling you, my brother, a nation is a revelation. Revealed to some entity, so that they leave that work and it become, when this was revealed to me, it became my embodiment. We used to call ourselves our free people, that we are new Nigerians. Look at new Nigeria. We are new Nigerians. Not so that anybody think a new Nigeria is already here, because you are the embodiment of that new Nigeria. So the kind of leaders I'll be enjoying. Of course, we are going to join political. We are going to be part of course, that's what we'll be doing. So it's only that there must be a thing, like just like I said, that when you grab this power, I came to that realization that when you grab this power, what do you do with power? And I had to seek that wisdom that I'm talking about first. Seek that wisdom. God said He has wisdom. If you want to seek wisdom, you seek it. But you cannot see. You cannot do it because when you eventually have power, there's no way you can give meaning and direction to power. So the kind of leaders people should look at is the kind of leaders that knows the essence of Nigeria, that want to govern by purpose and not by power. Of course, power is needed. We need political power, but you need the kind of wisdom to give meaning and direction to that power. And that's kind of leaders we should look at too.
Okay, and how can we nurture for those who we see that have these potentials or this spirituality, this wisdom, this consciousness of a new Nigeria? How can we bring them together as a people, and how can we make the other set of population who do not have this hindsight to see and know that these are the leaders to push forward, these are the leaders to support? We just read 78 associations jostling to become parties. How can we convince them? Can you give Nigerians some tips of what they should look out for and the way forward? Because this is the first series. Next Sunday, hopefully, we're going to do the second. And by the time we're on the 7th, we must be perfect.
Yeah. Thank you for that question. That is how it is. When you see the change of, when you see what we are doing is nature drilling, and the universe, we are speaking the language of the universe. So, and we're raising that consciousness, and that is what I go back to this exceptional TV station again. That is what you are doing, and I really cherish that. There's no other way to raise this kind of consciousness through air, the force of the air. It's very, very powerful.
Yeah, you talked about the elements.
Yes. I was still off camera. I was telling you sometimes the elements, the 5 elements of that.
And there was one in particular you said wasn't.
Oh yes, you still remember our discussion of yes, I was saying that the elements are air, water, fire, and earth. I said there's one that's Akashi. That is the mystery. That's the mystery that the one that really controls these 5 elements. Some people call it the fifth realm or the third eye. That is kind of thing. I said before, this thing you see me doing is not. I have to get access to that kind of realm. So it's not meant for people that devote themselves only to acquire. Of course, I'll have money. I will be greater than, more than those people. But what you need, for what do you want to do with this minimum money? So that is why you can have all the monies, and when all the people say, yes, you don't really live. You just exist. You don't really live. And that is it. So that is the first thing. So we are raising the consciousness, and that is what I have been doing. I thank God. Do you know that I have not gotten this kind of thing before? So meaning that that's why I said we are speaking the language of the universe. There comes a time. Let me go by then, so that to tell you, in answering that one, that we are doing it and we are speaking. You see, consciously it will go to Nigeria. It must go because that is what the universe wants now. For every 250 years. For every 250 years, it happened. The last time it happened is 1777 to 1798. 1778. The world's revolution, just like I said, I love that question. Which leaders are going to lead this revolution? Thank God we're leading it. You are the leader. You're a leader. Leader is not a leader. Is when you discover purpose and understand your destiny. Leadership is born. That is leader. That is leader. It's not political leader. Now, leader. We are leading it, and the global television is leading it. Thank you again to Dr. Ibrahim Biu, a great mind there. I'm talking about the CEO of this great, the global TV station. So, in 1777 to 1798, there were 3 revolutions that happened, or 4. The American Revolution, French Revolution, Industrial Revolution. And of course, that was the time that the European Renaissance, the European Enlightenment, really the crescendo. Meaning that there is a turn of a century there, and it's happening again. That is happening again this side of the world. It takes this time to happen. Up to 50. You cannot stop it. So what we are doing what is happening is a global thing. Is a universal phenomenon. A universe has a way of engendering a shift in political order, economic order, and economic order, and a political order, industrial and social order. And that is what we are having our own share. You can see all over the world, this civilization, this so-called civilization of the world is dead already. The old Nigeria is dead. We are having our own share of it. The old Nigeria is dead. What is dead about people? A nation, a country, a people, the society evolve, and there's what they call the eternal death of society. There's a time that the society is dead, but that death gives room for the rebirth, and that is what we're doing. Rebirth is what we do, because that is it's nature. When one dies, another one births out of it. So the old Nigeria is dead. That is why you see the old Nigeria is bad. You see the collapse of institution. You see the decadence of morality, or if you like values. Every indices that you see in Nigeria, you see that this is the
some people call failed state.
People call it failed state. And that is their own semantics, but it's a dead nation. The old order is dead. I mean, is that the old order? There are some people perpetuating that old order. I mean that they are dead if they can understand it. In any position, with all the rest, in any position you find yourself, especially even though you are not in political leadership, you should know that what you are perpetuating, if you are not there, is a dead thing. That is what I said. A nation is a person. So anyone that is in a position of leadership now should know that there is a death of a nation, death of a nation. So meaning that this nation needs a rebirth now. That's why I was telling our dear president Ahmed Tinubu. I wrote to him, our organization wrote to him, immediately he became, to tell him this kind of insight. And I told him that if you don't like, he can be the father of the modern new Nigeria. I wrote to him. We wrote to him. In fact, I've sent a reminder too. So meaning that it's all a collective interest. We are not looking at, because it's not, let me balance it. It's not, the problem we are facing is not particularly Tinubu's problem. The problem we face is not particularly, you can count it that way, you can carry it backward that way. No, the problem we are facing is a fundamental challenges of life. And just like I said, fundamental challenges of life cannot be solved with the same state of consciousness and knowledge level that created them. So it means that the existence of a time demands that we must begin to exploit the inner dimension of our intelligence as a true human being that we are. I'm telling you, my brother. So meaning that everybody in the position of leadership, all the citizens should know that there is a new consciousness now, and that is it. There must be a new beginning. We must birth a new beginning. And the part of, if you want to birth a nation, what is it? If you want to birth a baby, just like that's how we allow it to a divinity. That is like natural too. Meaning there must be conception. What we are doing here is conception. The more people talk about it, I can say I love it. People now talk about New Nigeria, even though it has the political relation. I thank God because that's the kind of consciousness I want to do. But the New Nigeria will not come because there's a shift in power. Let me hammer it again. The New Nigeria will not come because there's a shift in political power. No. You don't get New Nigeria through political power. You get it through understanding the kind of purpose, Nigerian purpose is our destiny, and how you can imbibe that and understand and start that consciousness and build the fiscal and naturally fiscal correspondence of that will emerge. That is how relations are.
Let's look at in terms of the people now. How well can we get this done in terms of liking the political minds? Because, like you rightly pointed, there are political part of it, and social and others. How can we drive this deep enough for people to embrace it, and for those who are maybe against this new order, how can we weed them out without confrontation?
Yes, let me take it from now. I didn't see anybody going independently going against this new order that can survive it. Just like I said, it's a universal force. No one stands against it. When I talk about it as divinity, no one stands against it. I'm doing my little bit here. If I do my own when it's time, I tell God that I'm fulfilled. But what I'm telling you that the new Nigeria is there and no enemy is unstoppable. And that's I'm doing this. I'm doing my bit. You're doing a bit now. This is what I've been doing for years. It doesn't come like that. It doesn't just come like a soup like that. If you see what all these the people that we look up to now, is it America? Just like I said, you can imagine what I said 250 years ago. America started. So don't just everybody say, look at the American democracy. No, it started. Those founding fathers of America, they understood what they wanted to do and they tried to do it. And they try to just do that. That is what we had been doing in our own organization, trying to raise consciousness and we've done, this is a TV something we've done. That is why we started that national policy dialogue. That I'm the national, by God's grace, I'm driving it. There are great minds there. I'm among the youngest person. They just say, you have energy, just drive it. There are great minds, all people, old Nigerians that are there. And they said, some will tell me, Abdul, this is what we have wanted. I don't want to mention them. Abdul, this is what we have wanted. I wish I was younger than this. Go ahead, that is what we want. So there are critical masses there are people in this because they just need that. Everybody knows that, even the so-called leaders know that they cannot survive this way now. They must be in Nigeria before you talk about government. They must be in Nigeria. And so what we're explaining is that let's talk about Nigeria. And I'm using this medium to invite all our political leaders. We must have a broad national conversation around this. The conscious creation of a new nation. Nations are created. If we do not consciously create them, we can never be there. People are saying that our nation we have a problem with nation. And sometimes I chop with them and I look in that. These people, they don't know that nation great nation did not just happen. It's not ever a happenstance. They are product of that statecraft, and that is where we are going to craft a new nation. There's no many conceptions of nation. So I'm inviting everybody that can hear me today from our president, our dear President Ahmed Tinubu, everybody, all other political leaders that are there now leading, all of us, because this is what every time this is what our founding fathers of this great country wanted. They said they envision a great nation. And anytime you see everybody say, how do you fulfill the dream of our founding father? That is fulfillment and what I'm talking about. Let us all come together to fulfill. Look at those men that give all their all to this can understand. Can be happy wherever they are in heaven or above. They'll be happy to that. This is the Nigeria they wanted. I'm telling you, if you look at the video, you look at that, I want every time I like to look at that. When the Union Jack was dropped and that great flag hoisted up, they said the new Nigeria. That is what they concluded. The person said new Nigeria.
They said need for change of name.
Change of name. Oh, that is it.
When you say new Nigeria, you did stand better than just Nigeria.
No, I thank you. You don't necessarily have to have the nomenclature of new. A new is just like they say a newborn baby. It's a baby now, it's a human being now, but it's newly born. That is just the new, it's nothing. We're not talking about having another country. We cannot go any other country now.
True.
No, it's the new Nigeria. Let me tell you how this is an inspired definition of a new Nigeria. One of my great foster father, one day he just called me. I like to say this brief story. He just called me. He's a former governor of, he's passed down, a great man. He's a former governor of one of these states, Nigeria. Old man. And he was in octogenarian before he passed on. Wonderful. He attended. He did tell me that Abdul, when I was in Harvard, I led everybody in my department. To tell you how in his department he led. He was the first amongst all of them, amongst the people in his department. So one day he believed so much in me. Before he passed on, he gave me an office in his. When I started this, he gave me an office in his apartment. So when he just called me early in the morning, he said, "Abdul, come." I don't know what he wanted to tell me. Then I entered the office. He said, "Close the door." I closed the door. He said, "I've been thinking about this new Nigeria. I so much believe in this. So there must be a new Nigeria. But how do we? Tell me about this new Nigeria." He just gave me a plain sheet, and I said this, and that is what I want to tell people. People do ask me, it's good to define something. We're not talking about, just like you said, another country, but it's good to add new to be able to tell you that it's a new consciousness.
Yes.
I just wrote. I didn't know this definition before, and it became my own. I had to go and study. You know, this anything you put your mind to is natural. There's what I call law of Renaissance in the universe. Yes, the universe will not give to you what you're asking God. God, give us me, and God give me one. God, the universe will not give you. The universe will give to you the reflection of who you truly are. That's what the universe is. That's the law of the universe. It gives to you the reflection of who you are in anything you want in life. so you know, this kind of a thing, meaning that's what every person that have drawn that naturally have drawn that to me in this line. I met them. Just like you mentioned great brother Alika, we met in the studio. And we're talking the same thing. How? We met, so that is how it is. With other great minds that we met like that. Because that's how it is. The nation, the universe will bring to you who you truly are. That is the process of becoming. You have to become who you want to be. So, yes. So the definition of the new Nigeria, I just grabbed my pen. It is an inspired definition, and I want everybody to listen to it. You can even write it down. I'll go gently. The new Nigeria is a conscious creation of a new nation. The new Nigeria is a conscious creation of a new nation with a clear and well-defined unifying purpose, established by eternal principles and driven by lofty ideals. This is an inspiration that you can write it and quote me. This is it. Musa Odudu Abdurrahman. A nation, the new Nigeria is repeat again, the new Nigeria is a conscious creation. Consciousness is very, very pertinent. I can start telling everybody what I mean by everybody. There's no time. Because the conscious, just like that, it's a deliberate thing. It doesn't happen just like that. Say, hey, you see great nation. It doesn't happen just like that. So a new Nigeria is a conscious. All of us have to consciously come together and say, we want to have a Nigeria. Yes, this is what we want. This is what we want. So a new Nigeria is a conscious creation of a new nation with a clear and well-defined, unified purpose, established by eternal principle and driven by lofty ideas. And I love to add this: nations are created. If you do not consciously create one, you can never build any. This is an eternal universal principle that is applicable to all. And Nigeria is not an exception. We must come together. There must be a broad national conversation. It do happen. Let me tell you, you might be wondering how I'm calling for this. In every turn of a society, in the evolution of society, just like I said, our great founding fathers founded an independent country for us. They had a conversation. It's like that in every turn of a society. If you want to have a new paradigm, there must be a conversation. There must be a dialogue. It's like that. Since human creation, there must be a dialogue. If you don't have dialogue, you have the opposite that we're having now. And I pray we will not have repeated war again. Because no country survives a civil war. It is this, the absence of what I'm talking about now that we didn't have. And that is what I said. This great man, they are still the great minds. I mean, our founding fathers are still the great the people that we have in our so far. Because when these men are there, they do what I call the meekness of wisdom. When I study them so much. In fact, I study them physically, all the that I can read about them. Papa Usman, Ahmed Bello, the Sadowna, I'm talking about Sadowna, the great Sadowna, and I talk about Papa Olo, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, and the great Zik of Africa, and and Tafawa Balewa, the first prime minister. I studied everything you can say, and other ones, the Mahaba Macaulay. I studied the minds of those people. I don't really read about them. I went into trying to understand who they are, and I discovered that it is not because some people are saying that we should go back to parliamentary. It is not the system they have. It is the quality of those men. That's why I said they are men. This is you see the when I read about the right gentleman, the high honorable gentleman, I have the quotation here. I'll give it when he was before, when he was after a week after our independence for October 1st, 1960, a week after, that is 7th day. Because we have got independent, they give us, we become the full member of the United States. They call it 99th member. And I love that 99 so much because I know I don't want to go into that. Anyone that understands the mystery of 9 will know what it means. It means, I don't want to go there now, but just what it means, that it means completion and perfection.
I told you just 7.
No, it was 99. They said 99. 99. You know, if you want to get me, you reduce it to the 9 plus 9 is 18. 18 and 1 plus 8 is 9. It will still reduce to 9. So when you understand the mystery of numeral, you understand that 9 means, just like now your birth, 9 months is a completion and perfection. It's an energy of a humanitarianism. That is the energy. That is the spirit of which Nigeria carries. What the entity called Nigeria is a spirit. That is the spirit that we carry. You know, when I was reading through Marcus Garvey, he said something that struck me. He said even when the so-called the white people, when they enslaved us, and I must say now that we are not slaves. They enslaved us, but we are not really slaves because we are the kings of this world. The black is here before the universe. We are the king of this world. I'm not trying to sound as if trying to be a racist. No. But that is who we are. Blacks carry a mystery that no one else carry. That's who we are. So they try to enslave us. But if we truly, anyone that is enslaved is really the one that is a slave. It is the man of a slave to enslave now. So we are not really a slave. So I'm talking about kingdom. Marcus Garvey said something that I love. He said even when they enslaved us and we are so-called slave, he said the black people still love their slave master, meaning that we are essence of love. That is who we are. I'm telling you, we are that essence. So this man displayed that weakness of wisdom when look at what he said. Look at our Declaration of Independence. I love it so much. The speech declaring our independence, the Nigerian first prime minister said, and I quote, "Today's ceremony marks the culmination of a process which began 15 years ago, and it has now reached a happy and successful conclusion. It teems with justifiable pride that we claim the achievement of our independence to be unparalleled in the annals of history." He went further to say that this great country, which has now emerged without bitterness or bloodshed, end quote. I wish I can carry the golden voice of that, call it the golden voice. But let me be myself because I'm carrying their spirit. I'm carrying all of their spirit. So I'm telling you, let me collaborate that with the reaction where I need to use that where the katakata starts. But it's not really a katakata, as I said. It's not really a katakata to our coming together. It's not. It's part of the evolution of society. You must pass through upheaval. You must pass through understanding. That is what nature is bringing, and that's that's part of the consciousness we're trying to raise. That no, let's embrace it because nature will teach you that which you don't know, and the adversity, and he's the best teacher, and he teaches through adversity. Let's understand our coming. Then we'll be able to fashion a new beginning. This is the action of his fellow compatriot, his brother, the great Zik of Africa, the great Zik of Africa. That's his reaction to the first coup held 15 January 1966. He said, and I quote, "Violence has never been an instrument used by us as founding father of Nigeria Republic to solve political problems. In the British tradition, we plugged the colonial office into accepting our challenges for the merits of our case for self-government. After 6 constitutional conferences in 1953, 1954, 1957, 1958, 1959, 1960, Great Britain considered us the right to accept our political independence, and from October 1st, 1960, none of the political party ever adopted violence means to gain our political freedom. And we are happy to claim that not a drop of the British or Nigerian blood was shed in the course of our national struggle in the sun." And I asked, look at what they bequeathed to us. This great country was on the platter of peace. And you now wonder, how has peace eluded us because we have disoriented? So they wanted, so those men envisioned a nation that will lead other Africa. Just like I said the last time I was there, that Papa Nnamdi Azikiwe went in his inaugural speech as the Governor General and subsequent president. He said and I quote, the challenge of Nigeria as a free state in this 20th century Africa is the need to revive the stature of man in Africa and restore the dignity of man in the world. Under no circumstances shall we accept that the black race is inferior to the other race. That is who we are.
All right, that's on that very strong note, that's where we're going to call it a wrap on today's edition. It's a big thank you to the founder and president of the Initiative for the Discovery of Nigeria Heritage and Endowment. He's not that person, but the man who is also the project coordinator of the National Dialogue. He is Musa Ododo Abdulrahman. Always amazing, super amazing, I must say, to have him in the studio. And I will continue this series next Sunday as we look at how we would consciously create the new Nigeria and also figure out ways to know the right leaders to take us through this journey of creating the new Nigeria. I will say thank you very much for joining us in the studio.
Thanks for having me. You make not only my day, you make my life, because this is my life.
All right, so now we've heard from the horse's mouth, and next Sunday, hopefully, he's going to be here for us to take another angle of creating the new Nigeria of our dreams and also helping us figure out the best leaders to take us through this route, and so that in 2027, inshallah, we'll be making the right choices. My name is Anthony Momodi. Say thank you for being part of Africa's Finest Breakfast Show. Good morning, and enjoy the rest of your day.